Biafran Liberation Army engaged with Nigerian army in a heavy gun battle, but unfortunately, the Nigerian army fled the battle instead of fighting back. Meanwhile, a critic and strong supporter of the Biafra movement has criticized the Nigerian government and bloggers for spreading misinformation, claiming that the Biafran Liberation Army is still strong and active. He asserts that their goal is to achieve the independence of Biafra and that they are not involved in criminal activities, unlike imposters misusing the cause. He praised Nnamdi Kanu as the most feared leader in Africa and claims that both Nigerian and international political figures fear his movement. He criticizes the United Nations, European Union, United Kingdom, and the United States of America for allegedly ignoring the suffering of Biafrans, particularly women being victimized by Nigerian security forces. The Nigerian government is accused of oppressing Biafrans through abductions, killings, and rapes, with little international intervention. Simon Ekpa is presented as the rightful leader carrying out Nnamdi Kanu's mission despite opposition and political interference. He alleged that the United States Department of State has recognized the United States of Biafra, causing panic within the Nigerian government. He insists that the Biafran movement will not acknowledge Nigerian rule, demands recognition as an independent nation, and warns that Nigerian military forces in Biafra will face resistance. Nigerian political and military leaders, including Governor Charles Soludo and General Christopher Musa, are warned that Biafra will not allow further killings or oppression, and elections in Anambra State will be disrupted. I want to share with you an incredible story that I came across recently, a story that has so many layers of passion, struggle, and determination that it feels like something out of a modern epic. It all began with a heavy gun battle between two very different forces. On one side was the Nigerian army, which surprisingly did not stand its ground but instead fled from the intense fighting. On the other side was the Biafran Liberation Army, a force that has long been fighting for the independence of Biafra, a region with a rich history and deep-rooted cultural pride. As I listened to the news and then later watched a video report from Magnetic Jig Television, I found myself drawn into a narrative that was both personal and deeply emotional. The initial report told me that the Biafran Liberation Army had engaged the Nigerian army in a fierce gun battle. In a move that shocked many, the Nigerian army chose to retreat instead of meeting the enemy head-on. I remember thinking how unusual it was for an established military force to run away in the midst of a battle. It was as if they had lost all the will to fight. But the story didn't end there. In the midst of this chaos, a passionate critic and strong supporter of the Biafran movement emerged. This individual did not mince words when he criticized the Nigerian government and even some bloggers for spreading what he believed to be false information. He insisted that the Biafran Liberation Army was not only still active, but also very much capable of achieving its primary goal, the independence of Biafra. Listening to his words, I could sense the deep conviction in his voice. He made it very clear that the Biafran Liberation Army was not involved in criminal activities, as some detractors claimed, but was instead engaged in a noble fight for self-determination. He was especially vocal in praising Nnamdi Kanu, describing him as the most feared leader in all of Africa. According to him, the strength and determination of the Biafran movement were so formidable that both Nigerian and international political figures were said to tremble at the thought of what they were capable of. In his view, every force, whether it was the Nigerian government, the United Nations, the European Union, the United Kingdom, or even the United States of America, had turned a blind eye to the suffering of the Biafran people. He passionately pointed out that Biafrans, particularly the women who had been victimized by Nigerian security forces, had been left to endure unimaginable hardships. The criticisms did not stop there. He accused the Nigerian government of systematic oppression through acts of abduction, killings and rape, and he lamented that the international community had failed to intervene meaningfully in the face of such atrocities. His words painted a picture of a people who had been pushed to the edge, a people whose patience had run thin and whose desire for justice was growing stronger every day. Then there was the matter of leadership within the movement. The supporter told us that Simon Ekpa was now the rightful leader, carrying out the mission set forth by Nnamdi Kanu. Despite facing political interference and opposition, Simon Ekpa was determined to see the liberation of Biafra through. He went so far as to allege that the United States Department of State had recognized a so-called United States of Biafra, a move that, according to him, had sent shockwaves through the Nigerian government. In his words, the Biafran movement would never accept Nigerian rule again. Instead, they demanded recognition as an independent nation, and he warned that any Nigerian military forces still present in Biafra would soon find themselves facing overwhelming resistance. Nigerian political and military leaders, including Governor Charles Soludo and General Christopher Musa, were explicitly warned that Biafra would not tolerate any further killings or oppression. In fact, he predicted that even the elections in Anambra State would be disrupted by the force of their movement. I later delved into a video message from Magnetic Jig Television that brought these events into even sharper focus. The video opened with a warm greeting to all the fans, and the speaker introduced himself with an energy that immediately grabbed my attention. He explained that the Biafran Liberation Army was not a group to be taken lightly. Their message was clear. They were engaging with all Nigerian terrorists, and they would not be playing any games. It was a message of defiance, a bold declaration that anyone who thought the movement was merely for show would soon learn otherwise. I could feel the intensity in his voice as he recounted how the Nigerian forces had been driven away from the battlefield. He mentioned, almost with a mix of disbelief and satisfaction, that the Musa boys had vanished when called upon, a stark contrast to the unwavering presence of the Biafran fighters who were determined to see their mission through. The speaker was quick to dismiss the narrative spun by some bloggers and even by some members of the Nigerian security forces. He explained that many of these individuals would post videos and make claims about destroying camps and neutralizing enemies, but these were nothing more than media propaganda. In his view, such theatrics were designed to create an illusion of control, when in fact the real men, those truly committed to the cause, were out there on the ground, focused solely on liberating Biafra without engaging in any unnecessary atrocities. His words were filled with a fierce pride in the integrity of the Biafran struggle, and he assured his listeners that any impostors misusing the name of the struggle would eventually be swallowed up by the very land they sought to control. As the message unfolded, the speaker began to talk about the immense wisdom of the movement's leadership. He spoke of a man who had given strategic direction to the cause, a man he claimed was so powerful and wise that his very name struck fear into the hearts of both local and international leaders. That man, he said, was Nnamdi Kanu. His description of Nnamdi Kanu was so vivid that it was almost as if I could see the aura of authority surrounding him. According to the speaker, Nnamdi Kanu was not just a leader, he was a symbol of hope and strength for the Biafran people, and his influence was felt far beyond the borders of Biafra. He expressed deep frustration with what he perceived as the indifference of global institutions and powerful nations. In his passionate tirade, he named several organizations and governments, the United Nations, the European Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America, and accused them of ignoring the suffering of Biafrans. He painted a grim picture of systematic injustice, women being raped by Nigerian security forces, children being abducted, and entire communities living in constant fear. His words resonated with the pain of generations who had suffered under oppressive regimes, and his anger was directed not only at the Nigerian government, but at an international community that he believed had failed to act. What struck me most was how he wove together the personal and the political. He recounted the struggles faced by ordinary Biafran citizens, the sacrifices made by families, and the collective determination of a people who refused to be silenced. He emphasized that the Biafran Liberation Army was fighting for something far greater than itself. It was fighting for the soul of a people, for the dignity and the freedom that had been denied to them for far too long. His message was clear. Self-defense was not a crime, and when a people are oppressed, they have every right to rise up and reclaim their rights. At one point in his message, the speaker made it known that there were divisions within the movement. He criticized those who were more interested in personal power or monetary gain than in the true cause of liberation. He stressed that the only government that mattered was the one that represented the will of the people, a government that was, in his view, embodied by the so-called United States of Biafra. He explained that the leadership was not divided by petty differences, but rather unified in its commitment to a single, overarching goal: the restoration of Biafra as an independent nation. He warned that any internal conflicts or attempts to hijack the movement for individual benefit would only serve to weaken their resistance against the oppressive forces of Nigeria. There was also a strong emphasis on the need for proper recognition of the movement's legitimacy. The speaker recounted how official documents had been sent to the Nigerian government, demanding that the Biafran people be allowed to live in freedom. He explained that these documents were not threats, but formal declarations of intent. In his view, the Nigerian government's refusal to acknowledge the legitimacy of the Biafran struggle was the root cause of much of the ongoing violence and oppression. He asserted that if the Nigerian military forces, particularly those under the command of General Christopher Musa, remained in Biafra beyond a certain period, it would only be a matter of time before the full weight of the Biafran resistance was unleashed upon them. One of the more emotionally charged parts of the message came when the speaker began to talk about the human cost of this prolonged conflict. He spoke of the pain and suffering inflicted upon innocent Biafran citizens, especially the women who had been targeted by the Nigerian security forces. He recounted how families had been torn apart, how children had been left without mothers, and how entire communities lived under the constant threat of violence. His words were not just statistics or abstract claims. They were a raw and heartfelt expression of grief and anger, a plea for the world to recognize the injustice that was being carried out in the name of maintaining order. Throughout the entire message, there was a recurring theme of divine intervention and the belief that God was on the side of the Biafran people. The speaker was unequivocal in his assertion that as long as there was life, as long as God was alive, the struggle for freedom would continue unabated. He declared that the might of the Biafran Liberation Army was bolstered by a higher power, and that every act of oppression committed by the Nigerian government was a challenge not only to the people of Biafra, but to the very will of God. This conviction gave the entire message an almost prophetic tone, as if the struggle for Biafran independence was not merely a political battle, but a righteous crusade. I found myself reflecting on the weight of his words as he described the state of affairs in Biafra. He spoke with such clarity about the number of lives lost, the countless sacrifices made, and the sheer determination of a people who had nothing left to lose. It was a story of a community that had endured years of neglect and brutality, yet still clung to the hope of a brighter future.
Biafrans, this is Biafran Liberation Army, guys. You can see them. They know they shake you, they know the power, they know they fear anybody.
We are not playing, we are engaging them. We are engaging them by all means. We are engaging all the whole Nigeria terrorists. We are engaging them. Don't think we are joking. Let them put body now. They will collect water. Biafran Liberation Army is not playing. If they put body, they will collect. This one no be say go come. If they put body, we go handle them rough. You see, if we go get Allah. I will touch them. See him. I can't get me. No, I'm not this. I go there. Masnachi. You don't worry me. Oh. Here babu, here babu, yo. Huh? Baron no dey play. Oh. Baron no dey play. I know they play. This one no be chance, no be go come. Any Nigeria wey say in life no sweet am again, make you enter army, come here, come die. You come here, we go bury you. Jana, we go bury you alive. You say you come, if now you be people when they use say they won't use you, make you come fight against.
As he carried this machine, come they work for road or more. Then they not even again. They call the Musa boys, asking them to come and engage them. That they actually want to test their power. Or more, you know what happened? The Musa boys are nowhere to be found. Guys, you know, one funny thing about some of all these bloggers is that they will be telling you that the security people, all these vigilante, that they have by all the Biafran Liberation Army. Asari Dokubo will come and video himself making noise that he has destroyed all the camps of the Biafran Liberation Army, that he has by them this one, that one, all na lie. Now wash him they do, and a lot of them are doing that as well. Even the Musa himself, they are doing that using media propaganda. But this video can tell you or show you that the real men are still on ground. The real men are doing what they are doing because they focus for the work. It is only one work, and that work is to liberate Biafra, and not into any atrocity. They are not into any atrocities. Forget about all those fake people that are using the name of this struggle to do some certain atrocities in the land. Well, the land of Biafra will swallow them as well. But here, men, the guarantee men, doing the work where God Chukwukabiama send them to do. Listening to the voice of Mazen Nandekalo. This man, now the wisest man so far in Africa. He did very wise. That's why everybody is so afraid of him. The whites are afraid of him. The blacks are afraid of him. Our governors are so afraid of Mazen Nandekalo. Biafran politicians are so afraid of Mazen Nandekalo. The name they fear so much is Mazen Nandekalo. Even the Fulani Caliphate, they fear Mazen Nandekalo's name so much. In fact, the most hated person in this planet Earth is Mazen Nandekalo. But God is with him, and God is fighting for him.
Any day we learn to stop blaming the victims, this world will be a better place. I'm directing this very statements to the US ambassador, to the UK High Commissioner, to the EU presence in the zoo, and the UN as well. I know all of you will do nothing. We are not Muslims, so you're not going to help us. That's obvious. We know that for sure. But we have something that you do not have. We have the grace, the might, and protection of God Almighty in heaven. And we know that God exists. And as long as he liveth, as my name is Nnamdi, my Redeemer liveth, as long as God lives in heaven, all of you can never triumph against us. Ojukwu said it before, and you said he failed. We know why he failed, because God said the time wasn't right. I want to show them, my children, what is called Biafra, that very kingdom. They have to fight their way into it. If that is the option you leave for us, then by all means, we will oblige you. But Biafra must come, or we all die. It's as simple as that. There is no alternative. People must understand the rage that is boiling within us. You must understand how angry we are. We may look normal to you, but we are very, very angry, believe you me. And by the time we are done with Nigeria, the name won't exist. That I can assure you. You people are now beginning to see the type of madness that we are capable of unleashing. And more is coming. And I do not hide it because you hate us anyway. This conspiracy against Biafra, for no reason, we've done nothing wrong to anyone. But you despise us and you hate us. You want us to die because God gave us oil and gas. You want to take over our land. It's not going to happen. I will not apologizing or begging anybody to please read this letter. They are raping our women. They raped our women. Did you do anything about it? They went to the UK High Commissioner. They were telling them, oh, we can't do anything about it. Rape victims. But you're doing something about defending Fulani. You are defending Fulani. But rape victims in front of you cannot defend them. And you're neutral. And you want Nigeria to continue. So you want me to stay in a Nigeria where my women will be raped every day. Nobody will do anything about it. And I'll be clapping for you. One Nigeria, I'll be clapping for you. Check the Babu Noko. Mad people everywhere. People are insane. You want me to stay in a country where the Fulani police and soldiers can come and take our women, rape them anyhow they like. Even before they release them, they charge us. Do you know how much we have spent? We have spent nearly 9 million naira to secure the release of people who were abducted and raped, victims of state crime. Britain didn't say anything. UN never uttered a word. EU nothing. US nothing. And you want me to be in that country? I think some people are mad. Very, very insane indeed. If you do not believe in what we are doing, then you better get out. We're not going to stop. God knows we can never stop until Biafra is restored. We are peace-loving people. We abhor death and killing of another soul. It's in our nature, that's how we are. But because of that, they have been coming and killing us all these years. We've kept quiet. They've been killing and killing and killing quiet. We have a case at the ICC. We have a case at Africa Union. We have a case at what else again? Pending before the UN in New York. We've been to Geneva to tender our case. Before UN, till today, nothing. In fact, the more we complain to them, the more they come to abduct and rape our children, the more they come to kill us, the more they want to take over our land and our forests. And who told them that's going to be possible in our time? In a time, in a movement that I lead, you think you can come into our land and take it over? Oh dear. That means you don't know who we are.
Please, if you are visiting my YouTube channel for the first time, subscribe with us and turn on your notification button.
Yes, good morning, Biafrans. Good morning, lovers of freedom. Good morning to my audience. I want to use this opportunity to thank you all for what you've been doing and for what you're doing up to today. Now, I want to bring to the attention of Biafrans today that we have only one government, and that government is the United States of Biafra, who the leader is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The Prime Minister remains Mazi Simon Ekpa, and the Deputy Prime Minister remains Her Excellency Dr. Ngozi Arabweze, currently the surrogates for the Prime Minister of the Biafran government. Now, any other people or persons parading themselves as the acting Prime Minister or the Prime Minister of the Biafran government in exile, they are not working for the United States of Biafra. Biafrans, I want you to ask these individuals a question: that what documents have you to present to Biafrans, to present to the world as the Prime Minister. These people are people that were paid to come and discuss what we were doing.
Same as Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is doing the work that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu asked him to do. So many people did not know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave Simon Ekpa power to do what he supposed to do before he was arrested. Simon Ekpa has been doing it, although so many people did not believe in him and they were fighting him tooth and nail until this very moment that he is in the hands of the Finnish government. But very soon joy is coming. I see him coming out and I see him broadcasting. Joy is coming. Nnamdi Kanu will always say at the end, Biafra will come. After they must have killed us and we kill them. That is, Biafra will surely come at the end. Stephen Cross, carry go. You dey do what God sent you to do. You are always on the truth path, on the right path. You are always there, saying it the way it's supposed to be. This division is not going to help anybody at all in this Biafra government in exile. This division, all these positions, fighting for position, fighting for money, fighting for whatsoever that they are fighting for, which I don't even know, or we here did not even know why they are fighting themselves. That will not help anybody. Rather, you are giving the enemy more opportunity to inflict and to destroy, which is not what's supposed to be.
Our Prime Minister is being called for questioning by the Finnish authority. And Biafran, this questioning that they called our Prime Minister is even very good, because at the end of the day, Nigeria and other country would not have any reason to call Finland. I want to promise and put it out there, despite Finland has not completely let our Prime Minister to speak with us, does not mean that they have sold out. They are trying to save their heads, and they are trying to as well save our Prime Minister, because the allegations that was brought by these cultural individuals were very weighty, and I must say the truth that they were very weighty indeed. They were very weighty allegation indeed. But the truth remains that the Nigerian terrorist government knows that what they brought was lies, all false. So they have not been in Finland to defend any of these allegations. That is very good, because up to today, our Prime Minister has not been found guilty of any crime. So please give them the time to do more and dig more investigation, because they are not going to come out with anything substantial. As long as it's Nigeria, I beat my chest on that. Thank you, Biafrans. And good news again, the Department of State of United States of America has recognized the United State of Biafra. That is a very welcome development, and the zoo is quacking. The zoo cannot sleep. Tinubu has not slept since the news came out, and even up to tomorrow he's not going to be sleeping, because more is still coming. Christopher Musa, I want to tell you today, you have been defeated, and you will continue to be defeated in our land by every means necessary. All our people that you killed from December till this February that we are in, believe you me, if your army still remains in our land after 60 days, indeed, there must be a magician to have still remained there. We are saying this because we are going through the normal route to get our freedom, and we sent the illegitimate president of Nigeria a document to acknowledge us to leave, because we are terrorists and we don't want to terrorize Nigeria again and their citizens. So we need to leave and go and terrorize the United States of Biafra. And for that reason, Tinubu, we sent you a letter of acknowledgement. So if you like, acknowledge it. If you like, don't acknowledge it. It will not affect us in any way. But we are following the right template, so that when the world asks us, we know we will produce evidence and show to them. Now, the National Assembly is no more speaking. The government house is no more speaking. Biafrans, I tell you, we are winning these people. We are winning this terrorist government of Nigeria. They thought they could intimidate us. They thought they could fight us and suppress us by every means necessary, by forcing us to become an Islamic state. They thought they would have done it by gun and bullets. But now what is happening? Musa is getting the message right today, and we are very happy for what is happening on how Donald Trump is exposing Nigeria, and he will continue to expose them. If Tinubu does not go to jail in this time around, I will know what caused it. Very corrupt man indeed. Tinubu is very, very corrupt, highly corrupt. He's a corrupt man, very corrupt indeed. And for those of you that will come here and we call us online government, online country, online whatever, brothers and sisters, wait until we finish our online shenanigans. Then you will know that we know what we are doing. The government knows what they are doing. Again, Biafrans, I want to tell you that there is only one government. There is only one government, and that government, as we speak, is headed by Her Excellency Dr. Ngozi Arabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Biafran government. As we speak, please, any other government, I don't know about them. Any other government is fake. Any other people that say they are other government from which side, they are fake. Do not listen to them. At this moment, I would like to encourage Biafran to be strong. Look up to the sky. Put up all your energy and embrace this coming country. Very soon, we will unveil so many things, and Nigerians will be wowed. Biafrans, I tell you, one thing I must assure you is that our Deputy Prime Minister is on the right track. She's doing everything necessary to make sure that you and I head home this December as Biafrans that we are. Thank you so much. But I want to tell the government of Nigeria, Tinubu, whether you like it or not, you must acknowledge that letter. You called us a terrorist, and you wouldn't want to live with terrorists in your land. So please, sign the document and let's leave. We do not want any of your soldiers to be in our land. And Biafrans, let me promise you people this. Tinubu's army, Christopher Musa terrorist army, can never kill Biafran again and go scot-free. They can never. They can never. They can never kill Biafran again and go scot-free. It is not a joke. Before maybe we were making, but this time around, they can never. You can never try it. And I want to tell Soludo, this 4 years of yours is just the end of your tenure. You can never conduct any election in Anambra State. And all your people that are destroying lives and properties in Anambra State, they should wait. Very soon, they will meet their match. You are going to attack people that are not carrying guns, that are not carrying weapons to challenge you. You will go there and shoot at them. You will go there and destroy their livelihood. So Ludo cannot give these people money to start a trade. People will suffer. Send their loved ones message to send them money. Those ones will send money to them, and then at the end of the day, you go and destroy their livelihood.
So guys, thank you everyone for watching this video. Remember to subscribe with us, Magnetic Jigs TV, for we remain the best. Can we interact in our comment section? Let's put hands together and see the way forward.
Nobody, no country on this earth will come against us or will come after us, because self-defense is not a crime. And we are watching you closely. Don't worry. Soludo, we are watching you closely. Very soon you will understand where we are coming from. Biafrans, believe that we are going home. Thank you so much, and may God bless you all.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.